What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Texas Chainsaw Massacre video. In our last video, we went over a new teaser image that revealed the Slaughterhouse map and gave us yet another sneak peek at some gameplay mechanics via poster in the image. Well, today a new community hub post was dropped by the TCM website that goes into more details on that poster and the importance of stealth gameplay. It's a pretty common horror concept: build tension and release it, but the uncommon is found in how you build it and how you release it. With the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we know our victims find themselves against all odds, in a situation with little to no resources and seemingly all but done for. Desperation is a key word as well as an overall tone to the game, and with that, combat is not only unrealistic, it's minimal and frantic. So what fills the gameplay in between your capture and escape, or death? Stealth, but not of the variety you might find in a single player experience. From here, we actually get a couple of quotes from Sumo Nottingham design director Kelvin Moore. He says, "A key point for us getting that authentic horror gameplay right was the multiplayer stealth mechanics, the biggest of which is visibility. With single-player games against AI hunters, the rules on visibility are clear. You have vision cones, audio-visual cues when spotted, and clear methods of resetting the hunt. These just didn't transfer fairly to a PvP setup. Hiding in the shadows from other players was something we worked hard on in the earliest of prototypes, ensuring its faith to both sides and without gamey mechanics." Now, up to this point in the post, this isn't particularly new info for us, but a few details are dropped later that further explain just how the stealth mechanics come into play. Once the team had started to explore the mechanics of stealth that worked well for the type of environment we were building, the iteration and refinement of those mechanics began, and the true moment-to-moment gameplay of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre became clear. A family set on letting not a single victim free, actively working to reveal the areas of stealth leveraged by the victims. The victims, under-equipped and outmatched, desperately trying to make it to the next room in a chain of movements that will hopefully result in freedom from the nightmare. Who will survive, and what will be left of them? A lot of iteration took place during early prototypes to promote stealth as the way to survive. We observed a lot of player behaviors that we wanted to embrace, one of which was hiding in plain sight. Moving into the shadows, keeping still, and holding your nerve as a family member scours the environment is both terrifying and exhilarating. Taking the hiding in shadows a step further, we gave players on both sides the ability to turn on or off specific lights in the environment, dynamically changing hiding opportunities. Entering a dark room and turning on a nearby lamp, you quickly see the victims scatter like cockroaches. Of course, we don't want to make things too easy for the family, so the victims have some tricks up their sleeve in these scenarios. Okay, so a few things I want to point out here that I think are really interesting. First of all, this post once again reiterates the victim's goal of getting to the next room, and it emphasizes the objective of the killers to reveal potential stealth areas that the victims may have. Both of these points push towards some gameplay mechanics that we haven't really discussed in the past, especially that idea of getting to the next room. It's brought up several times up to this point, and we haven't really emphasized it yet, so I just want to put it out there that clearly an important part of gameplay is working together as a team to get to the next room. The question is, where are you trying to get to? Eventually, when you get to the next room and the next room, what's that final point that leads to your safety? Moore also confirms that both killers and victims will be able to turn lights on and off, and he uses a lamp as an example. I saw some theories that lights being turned on and off may only be referring to flashlights, but obviously this confirms that that's not the case. And last but not least, they also confirm that victims will have some sort of ability to deter the family when they turn the lights on and reveal their hiding places. And I'm really curious what items and or abilities will be used by the victims, as they've already made it clear that fighting back is obviously a, absolute last resort when it comes to playing as a victim. So all around, I'm curious where that's going to lead us to. And this post, man, it's extremely interesting. It gives us a real taste on just how different TCM is compared to these other asymmetrical multiplayer horror games that we already know. And as more and more continues to get revealed, it just makes me all that more excited to see gameplay, and hopefully we're not too far out from that as well. I did have one last post from Matt Shasha on the subreddit that I want to share with you that I think does a good job of delving into balance and reiterating just how they're going to make this game work in a 3v4 scenario. Important to note, first and foremost, balancing an online multiplayer game is never a fire and forget exercise. It is always, in my experience, a continual state of progress, fluid without fail. There are factors like what you mentioned above about player knowledge and experience, skill gaps, etc., but even when those balance passes go well, absolutely perfect, when you introduce new content, you often find yourself right back in that loop. And the introduction of new content is what keeps online multiplayer games alive and well. In the case of Friday the 13th, the game, I don't think it's any secret that the absolute explosion of interest in the title came on fast and a whirlwind started. Gunn believes in the games we make, but it certainly still was a shocking amount of interest and excitement over the game, as well as a much higher than estimated community and player base. When that happens, the team is often knocked onto the back foot, so to speak, caught a bit off guard. You adjust and adapt and start to wrangle this monster hit game to the best of your abilities and ramp up accordingly. Well, we all know what happened next. With the content stoppage/lawsuit issues, ramping up accordingly is not possible. As I said earlier, content is the sustainability of a title. It's the food source for the game. And with that cut off, the team unfortunately got stuck on the back foot, and every other stage in that chain reaction that is making games was disrupted. With the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Gunn enters into the project with that experience under our belts, a larger team on both the creative and development side, and a team comprised of talented people with external experience in titles across all of gaming, some of which I know many of you have played many hours of. We have brought in almost every possible area since the original Kickstarter for F13. We also have widened the amount of tools available to us in terms of telemetry data, live service tools, server and update parameters, etc., etc. We're faster, more flexible, and there's just plain more of us. We will continue to represent every community member, as I've said before, but we have refined our reporting measures on the community side to make sure we present the team with actionable data from the entirety of our community, as well as documentation stages for every cycle of change the game will undergo. One final thought, while representing our community and trying to cultivate a collaborative environment with you, we will still have a core design to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Will we please every single one of you? Probably not, but that's okay. The truth of the game industry is that a new game comes out every day. Some are a great fit for you, and some won't be. I like to think that if you're hanging out here in this sub, this one is for you. Our community team at Gunn are your voice box to the team, and I look forward to working with you all into the future of this title. So that's that. I just really want to share that with you. I think Matt does a great job of reiterating just how important it is for them to take feedback from the community and apply it to the game when it comes to balance and future content and things like that. They're in a much better position now than they probably ever were with Friday the 13th. So I think a lot of concerns are still out there and people voicing that opinion that they're worried about buying TCM because of what happened at 13. And sure, if you want to wait till you see gameplay or things like that, fine, but I think you definitely should have some faith here. I think there's a lot more going on, a much larger team, and a lot of experience under their belt now as they go into this brand new title, and that's why I'm very excited and will continue to cover the game every step of the way. But hey, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. But that's going to wrap this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. And of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.